Hi, welcome to Walking Wilder. I'm back. This reading is looking at resolving a conflict. So, if there's some sort of conflict going on in your life, this is for you. Of course, it could also be upcoming so that you don't know about it yet. Take what resonates and watch it if you feel like it. And we'll see what comes up here. Welcome in if you're new. Welcome back if you've been here before. This is an intuitive tarot channel. I'm a clairvoyant, and I combine the cards or the archetypes of the cards with what I see, hear, and feel. So, this conflict. The first card that I pulled is this one here, solving problems. So, there's something here about how you solve problems or how other people solve problems that might come up in and create some kind of conflict. The second card talks about learning lessons at work. Now, it is not my feeling with this that this has to be at work. It can be something you do as a hobby or in some other connection with other people, um, but it doesn't necessarily have to be work. Of course, it can, and probably is for a majority of you, but just so that you know, it does not necessarily have to be that. Um, but and if you're not working at all or just don't feel that that's where it belongs, it could also be friends, family, whatever, but some kind of thing that you need to learn about how to resolve problems, or need to learn, that's it, that is here to be explored, is probably more like it. This card here, trusting in life, came out as the third card. um, this gives me the impression that this has to do with your overall sense of stability and um, being able to assert yourself. There's something here about having to speak up for your point of view, having to put your foot down, having to, um, I don't know, put down some boundaries for, in regards to whatever this is here. So there's something about that. Let's see what else comes up. Can I know more about the roots of this conflict, Spirit? I apologize if my voice is a little, and there it is, a little crackled. I just got over a real bad cold, so I'm still kind of recovering from that. This is the Hermit, which is, of course, is a card about looking inside, learning, all of that. But it's also a card that's with an energy of being alone, an energy of having to go the distance by yourself. See how she's out wandering around. So there's something here about feeling maybe not supported or not, you know, um, yeah, let's just go with not supported. Can I know more, Spirit? Five of Swords. There might be discussions, different point of views on how things need to get done. Let me take some tea here. How things needs to get done. You might feel like there needs to be, with this, I guess it's a moth, but let's just say it's a butterfly. Um, Whatever, it's kind of like there needs to be some kind of development away from discussions. This feels like it's something that has been reoccurring, going on over time, um, and is just not really being solved. Seven of Swords. Yeah, this is people deceiving people or gossip, not really, being honest about how they feel, why they feel it, not truthfully expressing why do I, how do I see my own role in this? How do I want things done? It's kind of like there's something here in the way that has to do with how problems are solved that is just, it feels solitary in the sense that you experience it as being outside of a group, or as some kind of connection, not being supportive. I have to take some water here. I'm out of tea. So sorry. All right. What can you do to resolve this conflict? I hope this makes sense to you. Let's see here what Spirit has to say. Ten of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, and Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups can be an apology. Here it looks to me, in this particular deck, he's very much connected to his intuition, to, you know, kind of like what's going on in the dark. He's sitting here connected to the universe, surrounded by water with his emotions. So, he can, this is you feeling somewhat emotional in this whole situation here. And it's been painful. Here's the Ten of Swords. So there's this theme here of wanting to go from the Ten of Swords, which is also endings, putting something behind you, looking ahead to a more prosperous future, a more grounded future. This is the Ten of Pentacles. This is solid. This feels good. You're capable of manifesting, trusting in life again. So there's something here that needs to be that needs to be learned. To some degree, this feels like, because of the way he's sitting here, that a part of this is leaving the past behind, deciding whatever this is for you, I'm not going to give it any more attention. I'm going to, look at myself in a more loving light, look ahead, looking at possibilities instead of keep reminiscing. Ten of Swords is also like a lot of thoughts, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of all of that stuff, a lot of pain. And it's like, see how I put them like this without really, when I put down the cards, I just kind of intuitively put them wherever they seem to want to go. And so there's something here about looking to the future and putting some distance between yourself and whatever happened here or is going to happen, whatever it is. Here's the Moon, which of course is also, an energy of not really seeing the whole story. There can be something about not seeing everything that's going on here, and maybe that's for the better. Tell me more about what they can do to resolve this conflict, Spirit. The Sun, yeah. See, again, some of this, and this, I don't know, it is looking ahead, seeing things for what they are. This is things coming into the light. This is also you being very clear about who you are. No hidden agendas. I had the Moon card right before. No, gaslighting others or yourself into thinking things are something that they are not. This is you stepping into the sunlight, into, fully being seen and heard and saying, okay, this is how I feel. This is my opinion on this. This is how I think it should be done. There's this element of feeling like if you are, in that energy, then there's nothing hidden. So this is like the authentic you. Six of Wands, yeah, that leads to success. Can I know more about it, Spirit? Kind of feel like I need, yeah, I don't know, maintaining boundaries is lying over here. And loving yourself unconditional is underneath it. I feel like I'm missing something with this solving problems thing. Nine of Pentacles here. Can I have one of these, Spirit? Internal. Respect. This is the second time today I drew the card internal, which is interesting. That was in another reading. But see how many there are? It's only in there once. Crossing paths again. Okay. Yeah, for some of you, this is going to be someone that you are crossing paths with again. That's going to bring up some old internal stuff. There might be some issues around respect. You respecting them respecting you. You feeling like your boundaries might be crossed here in some way. with the maintaining boundaries things here. It feels like a need to calm and clearly, saying whatever your truth is. I'm sorry. Talk to me about this learning lessons. What is that? The magician. So something about how you're manifesting things into your life. But there's also a sense of balance. See how he has all the tools here? It's kind of like learning how to, speak your truth, do things that, make sense to you, create from a honest place. Well, and that's not, I'm not saying you're dishonest, but, from soul, there's something about being aligned here, something about using all your learned wisdom, everything that you have, and not being quick to judge, not being quick to fall back into patterns. It seems like there's something here internal that you've learned between when this person or situation crossed your path the last time until now, that you can somehow use in a positive way. What are you not understanding about their point of view? Oh, and there's the devil card. So there can be some hidden jealousy here. Perhaps they, um, what is this, spirit? It feels like there's, Chiron, wounded healer. There's some wound here that they carry that somehow affects the situation. I don't think it's you that's carrying it. This is like, it can be like shame or guilt or, some ego related something. This, this devil energy can be a lot of things. Two of Cups, something about balance. This is also my soul bond card. I think this is a past life connection that is coming back. And I'm not saying you haven't crossed paths with them again in this life. You probably have. But if not, then this is like a lesson that's coming back, or a person that's coming back. Well, not a person, but, a soul bond connection that's coming back that you have dealt with in other lifetimes. That's not for all of you. For most of you, there's some previous history here. What are you not understanding about their point of view? What is this devil energy here? Temperance. Something about balance, but also, this is spiritual development. They might be in another frame of mind than what you are when it comes to, faith and spirituality and all of that. That's not to say that they're wrong or you're right or, whatever it is. They just, it feels like they're in another frame of mind. There's a certain amount of stubbornness here, a certain amount of not wanting to, be very open to seeing other people's point of view. To me, this feels like there's a lack of balance somehow. Queen of Swords. They might be critical of you. They might be dishing your point of view, your way of doing things, things you want to do, that kind of thing. All right, let's see. Energy you could approach the other person with. Six of Pentacles. Oh, now they're all over the place here. Seven of Cups. Six of Pentacles, that's generosity. It's sharing your inside, it's balance, abundance, all of that. So this is kind of like a call to not let whatever happened in the past disturb you. And if this is another life and you don't know, what is going on here, there's something about being balanced, being abundant within yourself, kind of resting in the knowing that I, am the magician. So whatever I need to create, I can. Something about slowing down also and taking things slowly. Here's the Seven of Cups. Be aware of any illusions, any, repeating patterns. This is all, there's like all of this going on here. There's something about, and there was Chiron. So there's something about the healing energy of cycles repeated here. Places you've been before. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's with this person, but repeating patterns that you have been through, yeah, there's something about that. Queen of Wands here. All right. Tell me a little bit more about how to approach this person. Tell me about the Seven of Cups or situation. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It can be... All right, that was an awful lot of cards. Here's the Six of Swords. That's creating distance to anything that's, is challenging you. Well, creating distance, but, and in this card, it's also like, remember you're connected to spirit. Remember, to call on something higher than yourself. Here's the Four of Swords. Again, slow down, rest. Don't, and it doesn't necessarily, this can also be don't get in a confrontational situation with this. If you feel like something's going on and you're, take your time. Make sure you listen to what the other person is actually saying with the Queen of Swords here. Make sure you're not, being affected by previous experiences that does not have anything to do with this particular person. Nine of Pentacles, the Tower. For some of you, this has to do with money. It has to do with how you, how you feel abundant, grounded in your life. Here's the Tower card. So this can come in all of a sudden, like a sudden event that's going to shake you somewhat. And I think that's also why it's important to remember, take it easy. Don't get yourself thrown into a situation where you speak before you're ready to speak, or where you react before you really are ready to react. Here's the Queen of Pentacles. See, she's very calm, cool, collected, just sitting there going like, yep, I'm, sovereign in my own ability to create the life that I want here. Seven of Pentacles. Steady. Working on whatever, it is you're wanting to create. Here's the Four of Wands. More stability. All right. How can you move forward from whatever this is? Oops. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. See, again, well, now I put all these cards on top of them, but there's something here about, here they are, about staying focused on your future, your stability, what you are trying to create into the world, and not let yourself, be rocked by sudden events or other people's opinions or things that you discover that are not really yours to deal with. Be aware that there is some sort of wound in someone else or in a situation, in a pattern that is going to cause some havoc here. And when it shows, take it easy with it. Here's the Hanged Man. Make sure that your perspective is true to who you are. And then here's the Fool underneath and Two of Wands. So make a new plan, look ahead, let it go. Don't look back. There's something here with these cards down here to put your attention towards the future, towards what you can actually, create, have an effect on, and not look back. Yeah. The Chariot. Nope. Forward movement. All right, Spirit, is there any advice here other than this? the chariot, move forward. All right, well, don't look back. That's all I can say. Whatever this is, however it shows up, deal with it calmly, balanced, and then move forward. Don't, get stuck in it. Yeah, Nine of Wands. It's just going to become a burden. Make sure that you stay connected to spirit here, that you remember all your strength, everything you've been through in life, your lived wisdom, um, and move forward. Don't let this, Five of Cups energy get there. There might be someone else that has regret or is feeling a little bit sorry for themselves, whatever this devil energy holds here. Don't buy into it. Yeah. Move forward in your own, sovereign self. Be, passionate about what makes sense to you. There's for some of you, definitely, there's something in this devil energy that has to be with someone playing the victim, feeling like you're being unfair, that type of thing. So, yeah, don't fall for that. Make sure you're aligned with your highest good. Make sure you're aligned with who you are, that you can look yourself in the mirror and say that you did okay, and then go from there. All right. I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Big love.